you're going to fast forward in a time machine and see Andrew Robl, what do you want to have ensured that he's done?
In 3 to 5 years, I'd like to start a family. Just because for me, I think, you know, we all are animals. We've evolved through evolution, and I think all living things, that's your primary drive to reproduce. I think you talk about meaning and purpose in life, and I think that would just, you know, make my life more meaningful to know you have something, you know, when you die, you left something behind.
Like a legacy.
Yeah, legacy. So, you know, kids, you can only influence how they turn out. You know, you can't control it. So, but that would be one thing.
You have a lot of fun trying.
Yes.
What about poker? Do you have any goals to like leave behind a legacy in poker? You know, like if I'm interviewing Phil Hellmuth now, he's going to turn around and say, "Well, I want to be the greatest World Series of Poker bracelet winner ever." Do you have any legacy thoughts like that?
I don't have thoughts like that because I think what Phil Hellmuth is doing is great, you know, and he's a great ambassador for the sport. But I just think about poker a little bit differently, just because there's so much luck in poker and everything's so subjective that, you know, it's impossible to say who the greatest player is. And, you know, I think poker is it is kind of a sport and a game, but it's also still gambling. And the point in gambling is kind of to, you know, win as much money as possible. So that's kind of what, you know, I'm aiming for in poker.
With the role of luck that comes into it and the edges between you and your peers being really tight, does envy come into your life at all?
No, but it really did. It used to, you know, like when people won a tournament or things like that, you know, and I'd be like, oh, I'm a better player than that guy. Why didn't I win the tournament? Or what? Someone's getting all this press. Why don't I get it? You know, I'd be envious. Well, I think that came from a place of insecurity. You know, I didn't feel like I was enough, and I still felt like I had something to prove. And, you know, now I think I'm just more secure than with who I am. So, like, if other people are having success or having more success than me, you know, I'm happy for them.
Now, how old are you now?
I'm 31.
31, so you was like 17, 18 when you made a load of money, and now you're 31 and you're playing at the highest stakes in the game, and you have been for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
What are the success principles here for Andrew Robl to become a high stakes poker? What are the milestones?
The milestones?
Sorry, not the milestones. What are the success principles? Sorry. What are the key traits that you've developed that you think people should incorporate if they want to be successful?
I think it's just always working on getting better. You know, there's been at times, like now I think there's tons of players better than me, but there was times where I thought, okay, like right now I'm one of the best players. But if you start thinking that way, there's going to be other people who are still working on their game, still improving and still adapting. And if you're not working as hard as they are, you're not going to be one of the best players 6 months from now. So I think that always be growing, always be improving. And the main thing is, you know, adaptability, I think is very important too. Like a lot of American poker players, when Black Friday happened, they were like, oh no, this is the end of the world. I've lost my source of income. I've lost, you know, the sense of purpose in my life and whatever else. And for me, I never really felt that. I just thought like, okay, this is like just an obstacle. What am I going to do to get around this and continue on my path? And it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me because it encouraged me to kind of go and find these, you know, big live games like in Macau and places like that, you know, I might have never went to if I could just sit in my house and play online poker.
There's a great book called Beautiful Constraint. I can't remember who wrote it, and that's what it's all about. Is people generally look at a constraint as a real negative thing, but you can look at a constraint as a real beautiful thing, as a way to really push you on to go into a different direction that you never would have before.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, when bad things happen to people, or not bad things, but like, you know, people get an injury or a divorce or things like that, it can be really painful, but it can kind of be like, okay, a wake-up call, like this path isn't working, let's find a new path. And I think if you're just open-minded and think of it that way, instead of thinking, oh, this is the end of the world, my life's over, that's a much better mindset.
Yeah, been through the divorce one, so I know that.
Yeah.
I know that one for sure. What is the one risk that you're not taking right now? Something you know you should be doing?
The risk I'm not taking. I don't know.
Maybe there isn't one.
Yeah. I mean, you can always do more, but nothing just comes to mind.
And we talked a little bit there about the success principles of poker.
Yeah.
But if somebody is watching this show who just wants to be successful in life or wants to be happy in life,
Yeah.
as a successful, happy person, what advice would you give to those viewers?
I think in life, well, I think everyone strives for financial success. But like being in the highest levels of gambling, I've been around people with like outrageous levels of financial success, some of the wealthiest people in the world, and a lot of them aren't happy people. So I think something everyone should aim for is just to have positive emotions every day of your life. Because if you can have that, I think you have something, you know, way more than wealth. There's, I think, way less people who are, you know, happy on a day-to-day basis than there are extraordinary wealthy people.
Be happy.
Yeah.
And finally, how does poker make you feel?
I love poker. Poker, you know, is exciting. Every day is a different day. Every day is a new challenge. And, you know, I've been playing poker for a living for 13 years. And I would say still every day I'm learning new things in poker. I'm getting a little bit better every day. And so it's a very deep game, and it, you know, it humbles you, it challenges you, and it encourages you to learn. I am Andrew Robl, and I am High Stakes Poker.